I mean, how did I find myself in this situation? Personally, I wouldn't ever wish this upon anybody. But either way, here I am, and I'm not even sure how I got here. But wait a minute. Let me rewind. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So, started senior year of high school. You all know how it is. Senior year, I guess the senioritis started to kick in a little bit. Walking down the hallways with my head held high and my chest up. Because, I mean, I was the man, or at least so I thought. So, just at school, and I'm just getting excited because I'm at that point now where I'm just trying to decide what college I'm gonna go to, or maybe even better, what school I have an opportunity at attending and still being able to live out my hoop dreams on a scholarship. Everything was perfect. And then just like I said before, I mean, everybody knew me. Well, maybe not everybody, but a few people knew my name. But then one day, all these dreams just crashed and burned. One day, my girlfriend at the time, she called me, she said, "John." I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" She said, "John, we need to talk." And of course, y'all know, that wasn't a good thing. So I'm at work, and I'm stressing out because I have no idea what she wants to talk about. But I knew it wasn't going to be in my favor. So then she comes up to my job, and I'm seeing her with just worry on her face. And I said, "What's going on?" She said, "I don't know how to tell you this." And I said, "What is it? I have to get back to work. What's happening?" She said, "John," she said, "I'm pregnant." Just like I said before, I found myself in this situation, didn't know how I got here, definitely didn't know how to get out of it. And in that instant, I just heard a shatter sound. That was my hoop dreams, shattered. Going to college, vanished. And then I began to think, why am I even going to finish high school and graduate? I'm just going to end up with some warehouse job, working just some dead-end place. Because, I mean, now things have shifted, and I have to provide for a family and for a child. So it's all bad. But then, one night I was just sitting up in my bed. I wanted to eat, but I couldn't. I had knots in my stomach. Then, of course, I wanted to go to sleep, but sleep wasn't even an option. Because when I would awake, I was just fearful of what my tomorrow would bring. This was just a terrible situation. And then as the hours turned to days, and as those days turned to weeks, it just got even worse. I'm showing up to work late, stumbling into school sometimes when I decided to show up to class. And then one day, hello? Yeah, hey, what's going on? Wait, what? What happened? Hello? And then in that call, she let me know that she just suffered a miscarriage and should no longer be having this baby. I didn't know what to tell her to console her. And I didn't even know what I could say to make her feel better. And then in this situation, some of you might ask me today, what's the point, John? Why are you sharing this story? How does this even affect me right now in my life? Glad you asked. Simply because I was holding this story in my heart and I was harboring it in for so many years. This was a pain that I was just ashamed to share. Have any of y'all ever had something, a secret deep down inside where you were just at a place where you felt you couldn't tell anyone? You were holding on to something and it almost to the point where it made you sick. But you said, no, I can't tell anybody. I'm fearful. Nobody can know this story. Nobody can know this. And according to Chapman University, they did a survey in 2014 where they shared the biggest phobias of Americans. Of course, insects was in the top 3 because nobody likes those little creatures. And then just above that, many of us are what? Afraid of heights. But at the top of that list, the number 1 phobia of Americans in 2014 was fear of speaking in public. How was that relevant? Because just as I shared with each one of y'all just now, each and every one of you out here today, you have a story. Some of you might say, John, no, I don't. John, nobody wants to hear my story. Who would I even share it with? I'm not here to challenge you to get on a platform and share it. I'm not here to challenge you to get behind a podium. But at the end of the day, some of your friends in your closer circles, they might need you to share your story. Because your story is the prescription to someone else's pain. And understanding that we all have a story. Secondly, I also want y'all to see that there's so much power in a story. Just thinking about how many times when we think about stories, we share our stories together and we laugh together. We're able to enjoy those intimate moments, maybe with family, maybe with friends. But then also on the other side, we share our stories and we cry together. But either way, it's so much power in the story. Just like I said, it provides a prescription for someone else's pain. But lastly, I just want you all to understand that there's no greater pain, there's no greater tragedy than just thinking about being that individual who's just trapped, who feels cornered, who feels isolated, who's scared and fearful because they're forced to suffer alone. They're forced to suffer in silence. And they're forced to hurt just because they decide not to share that story. The greatest tragedy of any one of us in here today is the tragedy to bear an untold story. My name is Jonathan Jones. Thank you.